There's no such thing as a typical day around here. It can be anything from going out on the hustings and following some of the leaders or the candidates around, to writing blogs, to taping shows, to going to speeches, to, I mean, it's endless and it's fabulous. You cannot cover an election campaign from your office. I don't care how good you are. And I tried to get out to as much stuff as possible, which is hard to do because, of course, we're taping stuff throughout the afternoon for that evening's program or for future programs. So it's hard to get to as many things as I want to, but I go to what I can. And today we're going to the Sheraton Centre in downtown Toronto to see a speech by Tim Hudak at the Canadian Club. I'm not sure that he's going to break any news, you know, his platform's out there, but every time a candidate does an event or any time a leader does an event, there's something at stake. Number one, it's an opportunity for them to deliver whatever the message of the day is and hope that the media pick up on it and disseminate that message. It's another opportunity to get better at what they do. And the fact is that I've known Kathleen Wynne, I guess, for 10, 11 years. I've known Tim Hudak for 20 years. I've known Andrea Horvath for about 10 years. Known Mike Schreiner for several years, I guess 5, 6, 7 years. And part of my job is to watch how these leaders have developed over the years. This is a business, obviously, politics, where unless you get better, you tend not to win. We made good time down here, which is always a shock. And we'll get over there probably 15 minutes to a half an hour before the speech, which is good because that gives me a little bit of time to talk people up ahead of time. You always want to find out what other people are hearing and thinking and feeling about how things are going.
Business-oriented crowd about his million jobs plan, one that the Liberals, of course, have been calling him out on, saying that virtually every economist they've talked to says it's voodoo math. He defends it, continues to defend it.
This is the way things usually work. People come in, they find their table mates, they're trying to get caught up quickly before the speaker comes in. Tim Hudak should be walking in those doors any minute now. There's a decent contingent of media in the back of the room. I count about 6 or 7 cameras. All the newspapers, of course, are here. It's a good room to speak to. He'll want to put his best foot forward, no doubt.
I spent this last week, well, in fact, pretty much every day of this campaign, laying out my party's plan on how we're going to create 1 million more jobs in our province. But 1 million more men and women back to work in Ontario. Kaylin, a young mom, 3-year-old son, but her job is currently being threatened by a Liberal bureaucracy called the College of Trades. Kaylin hasn't always had an easy time in life. Like many people, she struggles with written tests. But what I admired about Kaylin is that she overcame those challenges. She's built a tremendously rewarding and successful life as a hairdresser.
A lot of this job is waiting around, and one of the things we're doing right now is waiting for the leader. He's given his speech. He's now going to come to a scrum/press conference after the speech is over and take questions. Oftentimes, this is the one chance during the course of the day where, maybe 1 or 2 times during the course of the day, where the media have an opportunity to ask questions on the public's behalf about what the leader has said here, or for that matter, about anything else going on in the campaign.
This reminds me a lot of the gas plant scandal, where initially Kathleen Wynne, an adult McGinty, said it was only $40 million, don't worry about it. And then we found out that it was over $1 billion. They haven't learned any lessons from that. And it just tells me that if they get away with this, as you can see now with Mars, they're going to do it over and over and over again, and it's bankrupting the province.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. The reporters here will hear from other reporters who are following the other leaders. The other leaders are saying things about him, so they will take some of that or that to this leader. Anyway, through the course of it all, that's how campaigns get covered.
Wow,
I thought this was maybe the best speech I've ever seen Tim Hudak give, and I've seen him give 100. If he goes on in 2 weeks' time to win this election, I think there are going to be people, and I might be one of them, who will point to this moment when it finally came together for him. He spoke slowly. He spoke with emotion. He spoke with authenticity. He spoke in a way that finally seemed to connect. I've given so many speeches where he's raced through them, he slurred his words, he seemed phony, he didn't connect with the audience. This one was different. I also thought it was interesting that after the speech was over, he bolted into the audience with a hand mic and took questions. Have not seen that happen in this forum before. Very interesting day.